Several states are shaping up to have competitive races for the U.S. Senate as Democrats fight to gain control. In Maine, longtime Republican Senator Susan Collins is facing her toughest reelection bid in years. The three Democrats vying for her job are set to face off in a July primary. For more, let's bring in Rachel Ohm. She's a reporter for the Portland Press Herald. Rachel, thanks very much for being with us. Susan Collins has been a fixture, of course, of Maine politics for years. She was first elected to the Senate in 1996. How did her seat become so competitive?
I think a lot has really changed, especially during the Trump era, and everything is so divisive. Like you said, Senator Collins has been known for being a moderate, and she's been popular in our state for that reason. But I think there have been a couple of decisions, her Brett Kavanaugh decision a couple of years ago, and then her vote to acquit the president in his impeachment trial that have been really controversial here. So I think, those are things that are playing into people's minds. And I know Democrats have definitely tried to go after her, especially for those two decisions. And so that has kind of turned it into a higher stakes race with a lot of national interest. And we've seen, and interest in Maine, and we've seen, for that reason, a lot more spending, a lot more money being raised, and a lot more advertising. So yeah, I do think it is going to be competitive.
So three women are trying to unseat Senator Collins. Is there a clear front runner among her challengers?
I would say, I know they still have the Democratic primary in July, but I would say Sarah Gideon is probably shaping up to be the front runner. There have been a couple of polls, one by a public policy polling. They're a little left leaning, but both of those put Gideon fairly neck and neck with Senator Collins. And she has a little bit more name recognition being the Speaker of the House.
Right. So Sarah Gideon just received an endorsement from Stacey Abrams, who is, of course, the former Georgia gubernatorial candidate who gained a large national following during and after her unsuccessful run in 2018. How big of a boost could that be for Sarah Gideon?
So I honestly don't know if it's the kind of thing that the average Maine voter is paying attention to. I guess it could maybe help her with fundraising, but Sarah has already pulled in a lot of fundraising dollars. I know Stacey Abrams' name is being floated around as a potential vice president pick. So I think maybe if that were to be the case, then maybe it is something that would carry more weight. But like I said, I don't know how much the average Maine voter is really paying attention to that.
I want to go back to what you outlined a moment ago. Senator Collins has shown some degree of willingness to break with her party. She's criticized President Trump at points, but she did vote to acquit him on impeachment, as you noted. And at the same time, she's drawn fire for supporting Justice Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court confirmation, as well as the president's 2017 tax plan. How could that hurt her potentially come November?
I think there's a lot of pressure on her to split from Trump or to denounce Trump in a lot of ways for some of those things. And it's a really hard line for her to walk. I think all those things are things people are going to be paying attention to in November. And I guess it could hurt her, especially, if people are feeling unhappy with the president. It could drive unhappiness with other Republican candidates down the ballot. So I think she has to be cautious in weighing those things when it comes time for people to vote, and they're going to be thinking about those things.
Well, how much support is Collins getting from her own party, and how much funding for either side is coming from outside of the state?
I would say she does have support of Republicans here. There is no Republican challenger. There's no primary. And there is a lot of spending generally. There's been $30 million raised just by the campaigns. I don't have numbers off the top of my head for the outside spending, but I think it's fair to say that there is just a lot of money being spent, period, on both sides.
So given what you laid out for us earlier, how the political landscape in Maine has really shifted in recent years especially, how likely do you think it is that President Trump will actually get involved in Senator Collins' race?
I don't know. That's an interesting question. I guess.
Would she want his help?
I don't know. I don't know if she would come out and say that she would want it, even if she did. I mean, President Trump did make one campaign stop in Maine back in 2016, so he has been to Maine. He does have support here. So I don't think it's totally out of the question that he could try and throw some support to her. And definitely, I think, with fundraising, she is getting support from Republicans at the national level. So, yeah, I don't think it's out of the question for him to even maybe publicly try and give her a boost.
All right, we will be watching closely. Rachel Ohm for us. Rachel, thank you very much.
Thank you.